I'm Gemma Dooley, the CIO of Club Plus Super. Welcome to our investment market update for the 2020 calendar year. Amazingly, it was a 12-month period that saw the quickest and most dramatic plunge in global share markets, as well as the swiftest and strongest market recoveries ever. And all caused by something none of us could have imagined. In disbelief, we watched as COVID-19 swept the world, forcing mass lockdowns and wreaking havoc on our existence, our health, our way of life and the economy. Also weighing on markets during the year were the trade tensions between the US and China and the ongoing Brexit negotiations. And we finished the year with the most bizarre US presidential election and aftermath that we have witnessed. Domestically, we faced the economic and human impacts of drought, devastating bushfires and floods, and super funds were further challenged by the unparalleled early release of Super Scheme. We paid out close to $155 million via this scheme to our members financially impacted by the pandemic, meeting requests in a timely manner whilst minimising impact on our investment options. On the positive front, record stimulus packages introduced by governments around the world cushioned the economic and financial impact of the pandemic and precipitated the fastest recovery from a market crash of 30% or more in history. By August, the US share market had reached a new all-time high, and the Australian share market is not far off doing the same, having posted its largest monthly gain since 1998 in November 2020. In comparison, after the GFC of 2008, it took almost 2 years to reach previous market highs. The swift market recovery has been very good for super fund returns. Our MySuper option gained 8.1% over the last 6 months of the calendar year, in comparison to losing 4.4% in the first 6 months. This resulted in a 1-year return for 2020 of 3.4%. But remember, this is only a 1-year number, and super is a marathon and not a sprint. Despite many bumps along the way, just as we faced in 2020, over the long term, our investment options continue to deliver strong, positive, absolute returns in line with their risk profile. In addition, 10 out of the 11 options are achieving their return objectives over 10 years. So where to from here? The election victory of Joe Biden in the US and the start of the global rollout of highly effective vaccines against COVID-19 have significantly reduced uncertainty over the global economic and market outlook for 2021. However, hurdles remain in terms of new strains and fresh outbreaks of the virus, and governments face an unprecedented, huge task in manufacturing and distributing vaccines on a mass scale. The risks that come with this may provide some headwinds in the next 3 to 6 months. Also impacting the outlook for 2021 is how governments around the world will get their economies back on track without cutting the support that carried their people through the crisis. Despite this enormous support, the global economy was significantly impacted by the pandemic, and there is a lot of work to be done to turn this around. It is too early to understand the long-term permanent changes to the way we live and how quickly the sectors most damaged by the COVID lockdown, such as travel, leisure, energy and financials, will recover during the year. Overall, we are cautiously optimistic about the economic and market recovery for the year ahead. However, like always, some uncertainty remains, and there may be some bumps along the way. Importantly, our member investment options are effectively diversified across many different types of investments, managers, styles and processes to help them ride out these bumps. Finally, I'd like to summarise with a few key takeaways. Super is a long-term game. Don't get caught up in all the noise and the short-term gyrations in investment markets. We draw on some of the world's best and smartest investment managers to manage our members' money. Our diversified investment options, which includes our MySuper option, have all achieved their long-term return objectives over 10 years. And finally, investment markets are always difficult to predict, but it is highly likely that 2021 will be a better and less tumultuous year than 2020. Thanks for your time, and if you'd like any more information, please visit our website or call our contact centre.